was,
It
That is
wasn't. It
oh,
literally wasn't a second ago, and then I moved my body and I turn around and it says 0 viewers. That's fucking weird.
yeah.
neat.
I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know what's happening with my life. It's fixed now. It's
Who
fixed.
does anyway?
Anyways,
Anyway, yeah.
the
As far as
cords.
IO, just look back and forth between the fucking manual for your motherboard and the whatever came with your case, and you should be fine.
USB 3.1 Type C. I think there was actually a warning about this inside of my spec list. Come on, Vamanos. Everybody, let's go.
Everybody, let's go.
Come on, let's get to it. I know that we
Oh.
can screw it.
I can't foresee a warning unless it's like.
Mhm.
Hold on. I'll show you.
It's not gonna. I literally can't see. I'm driving.
I'm going to narrate it to you.
Okay.
On podcast. Good. It's giving me 3 of them. The first one is the Asus TUF Gaming X50 570 Plus. Has an additional 4-pin ATX power connector, but the EVGA B50 650 W80 Plus bronze fully certified blah 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 power supply does not. This connector is used to supply an additional 12-volt current to the motherboard, while the system is likely to run without it. Higher current demands such as extreme overclocking or large video card current draw may require it. Well, I need to have that for the 360.
You have a better power supply. Yeah, so don't worry about it.
Because I was told I would only need that in the case of extreme overclocking. And if it was extreme overclocking, this system would need something like liquid nitrogen.
No. Yeah, but that I don't know why that came up as an error because you're not really going to do that.
It's not an error, it's a
'Cause you have a better
compatibility
power-
note.
Yeah, but you have a better power supply than what you listed in there, so it doesn't matter.
May I ask what the issue here is? You're running into Carl?
It's telling me compatibility notes, and I'm asking him because he's the one who would know.
Well,
It's saying that there. Okay, so it's going to be the other 12-pin connector that is next. That would be for the additional. That would be for the CPU socket. It's saying if you have a low-rated power supply, you may cause issues, but you have a gold one, and it's 650 watts. You'll be fine. Just plug both of them in, just to manage that cable anyway.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're concerned about now. It's you have a better power supply than whatever you put in the parts picker. Don't worry.
Technically, you sent me 2 copies of the same part that I already had.
Which is good because remember, you can't. It's a bad idea to mix vendor power supply cables.
Yes. Then, Corsair.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The Corsair 4000D Airflow ATX mid-power case has a front panel USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C port, but the Asus TUF Gaming motherboard does not have sufficient USB 3.2 Gen 2 or Gen 1 headers. The case USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C port will not be usable.
Okay, so until you get an adapter, don't worry about it. So you just can't use that port.
So
that's no big deal.
The question I have is that this fucking dongle that I got right here in my left hand, this is the other cord that I
can't see.
I know. I'm narrating. This Type C
that
I have in my hands that's telling me that I need to connect to the front I/O that the Corsair has. This is that cord that it's talking about. I cannot plug this cord in.
Is there? Well, if there's not a matching thing on the motherboard, then no.
Okay.
Unless you got an adapter to put it in a 3.1 slot, which you probably don't have, and honestly, you don't need to worry about right now because you can do that later.
No, I
The
don't.
only thing it's going to mean is that you're not going to be able to use the USB-C port in the front. It's
Okay.
not a giant deal breaker.
That's
And the
fine.
only reason I use the US. Oh, sorry.
That's
I
fine.
was just going to say it's not a giant deal breaker, and you can always get an adapter. You can do it later.
I mean, for goodness sake, the only USB-C thing I use is my Oculus Quest. So, I mean, two.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, there's probably a good chance you have a USB-C port on your motherboard anyway.
Yeah, that's where I have mine.
Given you have an X570. Yeah. So if you really needed one, you probably already have one.
Be right back. Using the bathroom and getting some more pop.
Now the last concern I have, well, actually, there's two concerns because I saw something here. It looks like there's a pin missing from a port that is labeled Add Gen 2.
A pin?
Yes, a specific pin that's now missing that I don't know was ever fucked with at any point, and the labeling on it on the motherboard says Add Gen 2.
Oh, some ports actually skip pins in their layout,
Okay.
so you can't plug them in the wrong way.
Well, the thing is that it's not like the other ones that are a 10 negative or 10-1 port. I can see there are 4 pinholes, and the third pin, the second from the right, is missing. I can very clearly see a pinhole where a pin is supposed to be.
Yeah, that's normal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
And now my last concern is
They
is inputting the.
I was just gonna say they do that to make sure they don't plug it in the wrong way.
Okay.
But for cheating,
They used to have that right in case.
And now my last concern is actually plugging in the front I/O connectors for the power SW, the reset SW, the HDD LED, and the power LED plus and minus.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't know where those go.
Oh,
it's going to be labeled in your manual, and the wires, if they aren't labeled on the ends themselves, the wires will also be in the manual for your case if it came with one.
power SW and reset it. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say the only ones that you may have a slight issue with is the power plus and minus and reset. And honestly, if you plug it in one way, doesn't work, reverse plus and minus, if it works, that's fine. That's really the only annoying thing you're going to run into. Everything else will be either labeled on the motherboard and labeled in the manual for the motherboard.
Essentially, it's a power switch, reset switch.
Yes.
If you didn't know that, I want to make sure I noted that.
And if you plug it in and it doesn't work, just plug it in the other way and it should work. So sometimes they don't label positive and negative very well. It's not going to damage the thing if you plug it in the right spot, but in the wrong orientation.
It's just. Okay, I have identified and found the panel 2510. And I have 2 of 2, but one of them is split into 2. Reset RW, power LED plus minus, and power SW. Power LED, P LED, P LED. Okay, first pin, P LED plus. First from the top. Boy.
Ah.
The music stopped. Da-da-da. Wow, it actually went through an hour and 20 of that quickly.
Right. You just sounded like Bugs Bunny and falling hair.
Mm-hmm. That's how annoyed I get with this shit.
We're gonna go into a dead zone for a bit, so we'll have to drop out of the call.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll be here keeping an eye on the guy.
Good thing.
My pleasure.
Flavio.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
Okay.
All right. Just in case you missed that, Carl, he's dead zone. Should be back soon.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I know the feeling. Believe me, Now this brings you back when I was a kid, first learning how to do this shit. It's like basically computers I've trash pick. Windows 95 and the fucking 2003. Used what I found.
I should have asked them if there was a correct orientation for them to go in. But I suppose they go in the direction in which they are assigned.
Let me put it this way, Carl. These switches, don't worry about where they plug in. They shouldn't have a specified type. The only thing you're gonna need to worry about is the LEDs, potentially. Generally speaking, they are called light emitting diodes, which means they only go a certain way. When I was in college, they used to talk about that. But even then,
well, does the writing?
If it doesn't work properly, you can try the other way. But sorry.
Well, does the writing need to go towards me or away from me?
The lighting, you said?
No, the labeling. They have labels on them. Does the label need to go towards the switch?
Okay. Well, you said the LEDs, right?
Well, they're all labeled.
You're talking about the LED lights?
No, I'm talking about all the things that are going inside of the systematic connector.
It doesn't matter. The only ones where putting it in a specific way matters, as far as I can tell you, like the switches. There's, like I said, there's a power and reset switch, right? Those you don't need to worry about how you plug them in. Like, just make sure they're like the 2 pins. The LEDs are the only where it says like power LED or HD LED. That's the only one where it really matters. Essentially, the power and reset switch, it doesn't matter which direction you plug them in. Just make sure they're plugged in the correct spot. You know what I mean? Okay. It doesn't matter if you plug them facing or away. Just make sure in the right spot.
Okay, good. Because those were the first ones I put in.
That you have like these 2 pins are labeled power switch. I'm sorry. What?
Those were the first 2 I put in.
Okay. So you got those 2 in, and so what else do you have? What are the ones you need to plug in? Just so I know.
The other 2 that are left are reset SW and power SW.
Okay. Those don't matter which direction you're plugged in. Just make sure you're plugged in the right spot. Like, facing or away, it doesn't matter. Those 2 are the ones you don't need to worry about in that regard.
So what about the first 2 that I've already installed?
They're basically the button.
Yes, but what about the first 2 that I already installed?
Okay. What are they specifically colored, the wires?
No, everything's black.
Okay. Let me put it this way. Okay. When you said, I would say have them facing the inside of the motherboard. But to be honest, it's not the end of the world. But at the same time, it won't break your computer. I'll put it that way. If anything, I would wager on a gut feeling, facing towards the board rather than facing the metal of the outside is the most likely way. The only other way you'd be able to tell is if there's some indication that one is on the wire itself is plus and the other wire is minus, whether it be like a marking on one of the wires or not, because you said on the motherboard itself it had a spot designated plus and a spot designated minus.
Yes.
Okay, and on the LEDs that you plugged in, there might be a marking on one of the wires, basically, and it would designate like plus or minus. Otherwise, it's a 50-50 shot basically, and even then, it's not really that. It's. I wouldn't be able to unless I looked at it directly, but it's not like yeah. And I'm not being very helpful here. I apologize. I'm trying to be as helpful as I can. The point is, the worst case scenario, the LED pops. Does that make sense?
What do you mean by pops?
The LED breaks because
Okay.
you plugged the minus and the plus and the minus. That is the worst thing that would happen. And to tell you the truth, that's not a big deal. It's like, I mean, yeah, the light is not working, but it's like your computer will still work. You know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense. Like an LED can only the plus is where the power goes in, minus where it goes out. If you put it backwards, as my old teacher used to say in like a computer in my computer art class, well then you're just gonna have a little pop there, you know. Otherwise, yeah. Hopefully that makes sense.
It's certainly not very concerning.
In other words, it's not the end of the world. It's not. Well, but it won't break the computer. So I'm trying to let you know it's yeah. God, I'm terrible at this bedside manner bullshit, I guess.
Not really likely to turn on an LED though. I'm trying to catch up to Jernin.
Hopefully the chat's help assuring you in this regard, because that's how I look at it. Like, it's at the end of the world if there are more important things to be worried about, and you've already taken care of those as far as I can tell.
Depends on what continent you're using. Always a hot wire, and some parts of circuits is brown sometimes. Secondary ground is white or return for AC circuits. Black is almost always ground. Varies by port. Have to tell you reset the power switch.
Yeah, they gave a lot of good information there.
Negative connector. Everything is black. Somewhere somewhere and it depends on the board. Otherwise, the menu should have a breakdown of each pin. What it connects to, it does. Not really likely to burn out the LED though, especially modern LED. We're just talking about what all of y'all are covering. Okay. Very helpful. Why am I recording while I'm streaming?
Awesome. Hopefully that helps.
Probably adding to my problems. Get more visions than me. I would have snapped like that. I was about.
It's possible.
I was about this close to snapping last night, Nathan. That close.
Well,
getting there. I stopped myself because I could have just been.
Thank goodness you didn't, and happy we can help.
I could have snapped if I forced myself to continue going, but I have to.
Oh, I know that feeling.
I have to get up to work at some point, so it wouldn't have been possible. Well, I'm about to fucking lose it if my music keeps fucking.
Hey, we're all here to help you, Carl. We all think you're awesome. He's back.
Right. Music is still stuttering now.
I was able to help him through the LED situation.
Oh, he's worried about the hard drive.
No, just the LEDs in general. Like, he wasn't sure, like, the potential damage, and I was like, dude, it's worst case scenario, it popped. And he was like, what do you mean it pop? And I'm like,
LED strips popped in the case?
No.
I was worried about the orientation.
We're talking about he's still connecting the wires, dude.
I was worried about the orientation of whether or not the letters need to be facing away or towards the board pins.
Oh, there we go. I had to turn down the stream volume so I don't have your Carl's sweet voice echoing in my brain till I explode like scanners.
David Cronenberg. But you see what you heard what he said just now, right? Okay. He was worried about like breaking something. I'm like, the worst case scenario is you might pop an LED, and he's like, what do you mean by pop? And I'm like, it's worst things that could happen to your computer than an LED not working, you know.
Well, you mean like the LED burning out? Well, fuck, doesn't she? I wouldn't even worry about
exactly.
that. It's unlikely you're gonna do that anyway. like the way, and people have always asked me, how are you so like unafraid of machines? And this is literally what I tell them. These electronics are manufactured in, well, poor places like Vietnam, China, and they're mostly able to come out harmed. I figure I is equivalent with, but no, Anglos are idiots.
Yes, they are. And I am one.
I think I could probably handle it if this was made in like China, and that's nothing against them, but it's like somebody made it. I could probably figure it out, and that includes you, Carl.
Like, I'm an Ango. I know how stupid we can be. I mean, Homer Simpson's one of us.
Oh, and apparently I learned I have a lot of Greek in me, like direct Greek ancestry.
And they're Mediterranean, after all.
Well, yeah. I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
I love when there's like these hypotheticals, or like, what are they called? Like the technicalities that essentially like rip apart and show how like ironically bigoted the left really is. Recently I watched a video by our amazing the actual definition of bigotry. I use that shit all the time to mock people. Like, what's the definition of bigotry? And like, I just pull it up, and I usually sideline it with a picture of Astolfo just like doing the thinking face, because generally it's like I use it whenever someone's like getting all upset about femboys or Dimitri. To me, it's so funny how like every time someone tries taking down Dimitri, it's always like they accuse him of what they do.
They accuse him of either being a rapist or being
like,
a groomer.
Oh.
And then it turns out that they're groomers. Or in the case of what happened to Soriel, they're actual unironic Discord groomers.
Yeah, and they blame him for everything they're doing, basically. It's so funny. It's those who I say it so often. My computer, my phone auto-completes it for me. Those who shout the loudest do so to drown out the skeletons in their own closet. It's a riff on the whole, of projection. It's a simple way of putting these. What?
The lady doth protest too much.
Yes. That kind of shit. It's like whoever, or to put it in a more crude term, whoever smelt and tilted.
Yeah. All the same idea. That is a really nice. Like, I love the Corsair 4000D. Like, Carl, I'm legit jealous.
Of the case?
Actually.
Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah, it's mine's. It's a nice, for lack of a better term, white hawk. The white hawk, pure white. I'm reading too much berserk. Don't hit me. Don't hit me.
Later. I actually have, and it's a hand-me-down from my gaming clan, and I will never get rid of it. A, because it's a good case, and B, nostalgia. But it's a CM690 Cooler Master case. Huge, wonderful, slightly old, but it does what I need to, and it looks really.
Mine has my TF2 fonted Charizard Kitsune on the glass. I remember when Gunna, I asked him like, because when he asked me to build that rig, he's like, what did you want to be paid with? And I'm like, I really need parts, to be honest, because at that point I was using this computer I trash picked from work, and all of a sudden out of nowhere he asked, so do you have a logo or something? I'm gonna have them lasered onto the case, and I nearly fall over. I'm like, whoa, what?
Lasering's fun.
Yeah, I'm like, I can throw together something. It's yeah, sure. And I was just kind of blown away that was. Well, it was I think that computer that custom made computers company that sponsors him. It's like from a veteran. Yeah, he's the one that made it, and I saw him assembling it on stream, and I'm just like, the puppy's gonna be mine soon. It's a great computer. I literally have 3 screens. So I have you guys on the small screen on Discord. I have Carl and Twitter open another main screen right now. I'm working on JonTron's model. Probably could put it. I might even just start streaming while I'm talking to you guys. I don't know.
I'll probably have a 3-monitor setup after I move. Although one of them's going to be
Because they
an
told
old
me.
CRT TV
Well-
that I'm basically going to
Yeah.
use.
That means he is.
Oh.
That means we know his general location, not his exact location, Mother.
I know that personally I could do ultra wide and I could merge them via iFinity. The problem is the smaller screen, like that CRT TV setup you're describing, it kind of makes it weird. I can do ultra wide. It's just it's awkward with 3 screens.
Well, the CRT I would use mainly for retro
Mhm.
games, so I don't have to worry about emulating scanline, since it's actually scanline.
But yeah,
Also, if I wanted to do competitive FPS, it's kind of a slightly better deal considering response time.
let me tell you, I still have my zapper. It is an item that I will likely never part with. Yes, when I was a little kid, I remember going to a friend's house, like when I was maybe 4, and we were watching Ninja Turtles the movie, and she had a clang. Yeah.
Clicking it.
Yes.
Yes.
And when you have the tism, those things are like the greatest things ever.
That really is a satisfying fucking switch.
Oh yeah, I still have it. I think I made a artwork back when I was using a different avatar before I went to 3D, and it was I drew myself basically as that scene in Big Lebowski, only instead of him loading his gun, it's like the old school zapper, but it's a gray one. So I'm gonna have to go back and remake that with my new avatar. I'm just gonna have to use the orange one so that no one thinks somehow that I'm using, or make sure it's 100% clear it's a zapper, because I don't want anyone thinking that. I don't want anyone using that as oh my gosh, he's threatening someone with violence on Twitter.com. He's quoting what is the movie? He's quoting Game of Thrones. He needs to have his Twitter revoked. God,
I'm watching Carl go through boxes.
Boxes. It's an unboxing video or stream. Funny thing is, today, for the record, today is my younger sister's birthday. Happy birthday to her.
Nice.
And she's mentally handicapped, but she's 28 and everything. But it's so funny. Her and my niece get along really well, are almost like two birds of a feather. But I'm so happy for her. It's oh yeah. But some of my brother and me kind of quote episode 1. We're like, this is getting out of hand. Now they want 2 of them. We say that a lot.
Isn't it sad that those are now classic films?
I know, right?
That's 20 years old. Oh.
I mean, honestly, it's so funny. I look back on them, and my brother's like, yeah, they were masks. I'm like, and mind you, he's 20 something himself, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'd never thought about that. Okay, I guess they were guys in a suit. And then I'm just thinking to myself, someone on set was doing that impression, and I'm like, no one thought about that. How it came across. Oh my God, what is wrong with your face?
I'm trying to identify
Desktop.
Good plan.
how this hard drive needs to
You'll
go
be
in,
back. You'll be back.
but I don't see the wire that it's supposed to be connected to, unless the SATA cable is the wire that connects to it.
Oh, wait. You said the hard drive? Okay. Is this a solid state or hard disk?
This is a.
There's a power supply. There's a power
This is an SSD.
and a SATA, right? Okay, yes. I will let Mariner handle this because this is beyond. This is something I still haven't fully understood.
Now let me
Seagate
just go to
Barracuda
the stream.
Compute 2 terabyte 3.5 7200 RPM internal hard drive. The SSD is right here.
Oh, it's a hard drive.
Yeah.
The internal hard drive.
Yes, I have an internal, and then I have an additional,
Internal. They're both internal.
NAND SSD 860 Evo. There is an M.2 that will be on the way that will arrive on Tuesday, what's going into the system as well. And I have an additional external 2 terabyte.
Yes, I have an external 2 terabyte myself. 3.0 USD.
And I'm trying to identify the
Good shit.
cable that I need to put this in, because there's no
Okay.
cable in this bag. And I'm holding it up to the light, and I can see
Oh.
that there's no cable in this bag. So is this connected with
Okay,
SATA
you
cable?
should- Yes, it is.
I have 2 of them. One is L-shaped.
Yes. They should both be L-shaped. It doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, you mean the connector is like at a right angle?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mhm.
Either or will work.
Well, I will need one of them
It's
for
a
this one, won't I?
Yeah. They're both SATA cables. One just has an L shape
Okay.
in case you need that
Yeah.
extreme bend, depending on where you put it. It's like a right angle plug for power.
One.
Yeah, exactly.
This
What he
is
said.
Same with
Yep. Yeah, I just want to make sure he's here to give a second opinion because I don't want to say something that, not that I'm not confident in myself. You trust him more than I do,
Yeah.
or more than me. So, I would trust him.
I would
I trust both of
put
you
the
more than
drive
myself.
in and then
Fair point. I'm gonna guess the hard drive bay is like mine. In fact,
you'd probably
holy
have to-
fuck,
you'd
Carl,
probably-
you have the. I'm sorry. Let me say this, Carl. I think you have the white version of my computer case.
I
It's
don't
almost
know.
identical. I'm looking at it right now. And I'm like, holy shit.
Is it a black Corsair Airflow?
Anyway, the hard drive bay, if I'm not mistaken, there is that white. If you look at it from the side you're putting in the motherboard, there's a bay area.
I've already
Okay.
identified it.
Sorry, I'll shut up. Thank you.
Oh, that's why I have the manual open so I can help him. Yeah, it's on the other side of the machine if you take the other panel off.
Yeah, he has
I already have. I'm trying to turn it
the
around.
exact same case I do. Only mine's black and his is.
Yeah,
He's trying to turn it around.
Yep. That is
Yep.
correct.
The panel on the back basically can be screwed off. So, but it's already off right now. So yeah, never mind. Yeah, that is the exact case I have. Holy shit, that's hilarious.
4,000
Or just about.
Then you have the
Oh
black.
yeah,
then you have
that
the
brings
black
back
version.
memories.
And you have the black version of this case.
Yep, I do.
Ooh, oh yeah, that's right. It comes with toolless hard drive mounts. You're gonna like it.
Well, it does. Oh well.
Yeah, those black,
yeah,
black things.
Yeah, I only came. Mine only came with one, and so I was gonna install an internal one, but but mine was built. I didn't buy the case by itself.
Yeah, once you actually put the drive in the machine, it'll be a lot easier to see how things work.
God, that reminds me. I need to make sure I get the. I've been trying to work on, and I need to work on my the server I have. I need to get it cleaned out, software and hard storage wise, so we can make it into a server for fun stuff.
By the way, how's
Oh,
my microphone?
Oh, it's much better. Also, Nate, yes, Cronenberg was a weirdo. And he created a. I'm not even joking. Like, I mean that literally. When I was a kid, I was so freaked out by the fly that I had diarrhea. Yeah. Uncomfortable tales with Charza and his history with certain things. Those were the
I'm so scared of doing static damage to the Seagate.
days.
I'm seeing you, it's like, oh, this is a hard drive.
Yeah,
It's
another Mariner. Let's have another. In the words of Patrick Starr.
That's terrifying.
What?
The fact that it's not slotting in the way that the screws came in did.
Nikita, get in. Don't be.
No,
don't
it's
be too upset.
he's getting the bomb squad vibes that I had when I was doing surgery on a grave. Yes, I know the feeling.
Where it's me, it's like just let it flop around. I'm only gonna boot it for a few minutes.
Oh, believe me, I was like that too, and I'm just saying it's that.
Why do you?
Because it has screw holes on the side. I know that these pins are supposed to fit inside of them, but it's like I have to pry it to the side open.
Oh yeah,
and make it fit in.
Are they the rubber grommets with the metal insert, Carl?
No, the plastic.
Carl, you forgot to take.
Ah, we got a subscriber! Woo!
Could you put it up close to the camera? Or, you know what? Let me just look. Why am I even saying that? I'm big dumb.
There's a plastic side that needs to go into the hole.
He's got to put up.
Down. Okay.
Go in the hole.
I have.
Okay, you got it. Yeah.
I have 3 out of 4 in there. Also, thank you, Linus. Also, this man has been here for a year. Now y'all can see the next upgrade of fucking emotes for subscribing. Should be.
Yay!
Let's see here. Linus, say something. Say anything. With your channel bat on. I swear I set with different versions.
Anything. Wanted to say anything. Anything.
Or no.
No, it's not.
Or my connection did.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think it was yours. You're in.
Because I know my version.
No, it's still here. I'm still here.
Oh, it's because my.
Probably. But I know my.
What?
God damn it! I know my version has the 1-year edition, but you should have the 1-year subscriber badge for being subbed for this long.
That's awesome.
Hard drive cage. Don't need it that big. Oh, it doesn't give a close-up of the hard drive cage. Yeah, don't worry about it if it isn't perfect or you need force to do it or you're...
Well, you just want to know which side he's supposed to put in, I think. He's trying to say.
No, I know what side
just put it back in the way you put it.
Just goes back in the normal way.
I was gonna say.
It does.
Yeah, because they only fit one way.
Yes. Way.
Now then.
Oh, that shit's satisfying. And your smaller SSD will go on one of those 2 rectangular brackets that are just facing you flat.
Falling is always telling yourself.
I need to get a second. I need to get a second SSD. Fog. By the way, quick question, Mariner. What did you think about that direct storage thing Microsoft announced?
It's about damn time. I mean, it makes sense.
It does.
Which is ironic.
And it may actually.
The thing is that it's like we're literally returning into tradition in a lot of ways.
So do I need to plug this in?
Well, I mean, wasn't it that like I remember back in the day they'd have virtual memory, get page file. Now we're gonna have
gentlemen, gentlemen.
Just like everything's just going back in a giant circle in terms of a.
Well, I mean, back then we only had like single core computing. When I was in college in 2009, they were really trying to hammer us on.
Gentlemen, Carl has a question.
We were really hammering that
in
in college.
And then that died for a while, and it's like, oh shit, servers, fuck, we need multi-threading like yesterday. So they were right. It just took a while.
That was 2009. I had like a dual core MacBook at the time that I literally drove into the ground.
Gentlemen, I have a question.
Well,
do I need to plug this in before they screw this back onto it?
No, you should be able to plug. No, No, just screw it back on. You can plug it in after. That's fine.
I just realized, I think the stream is faster than Carl talking on Discord.
What?
That's weird. Like, he was sitting there, and then he said something, I'm like, I'm not hearing it in my microphone or my headset, and all of a sudden, I hear it, I'm like, that's strange. I mean, just strange, more than anything. I don't know.
I'm muting Carl just to check this.
Okay, I'll say something.
How dare.
Or maybe Carl will say something.
No, it looks like I need to have this screwed in before I do it. Because either I have it in the wrong orientation, or ... Because if I was to put this screw back onto it...
Yeah. Flip the orientation. Yeah, flip the orientation. Because you should be able to... flip the orientation of the SSD, I meant.
But then this bottom is covering the bottom.
Right, junk.
One way or the other, there's...
Oh, I like clicking. What's up? I think you put in
Like...
backwards,
oh, yeah,
maybe.
definitely
I don't know.
backwards. Holy shit.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I think you need to say something, bud, because I'm seeing it. Yeah,
Because if I put it up here like this, and I try to bend it over, this thing is right in the center where these two connectors are. And then if I try to hook that on, it's covering it, and I can't plug it in. So don't I need to plug it in first?
That's weird.
Consult
Yeah,
the
then the screw would cover it. Let me look.
manual.
Actually, let me go look at a fucking build video just real quick. You shouldn't be having that problem. Oh, yeah, we can both look at it. I want to see the other side. Oh, I have a video that is a review build and build guide of using the 4000D. I'll put it in a non-podcast chat if you want. Actually, yeah, I will put the time code of. Oh my God, we should have given this to you. I'm so sorry. I'm using the royal way.
Qu'est-ce que c'est, mon ami?
Royal way.
Yes, you did.
Parlez-vous François?
Come on.
Also, somebody clip that and timestamp it. That's gonna come on alert. Speaking French, homie?
One says Royal We, all ice. We would like to play.
No.
No, 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 no.
No, mon
Oh,
ami.
whoa, whoa. Thank you, Sid. I promise my emotions not being high for that subscription isn't because my soul is lifting outside of my being, because I want to strangle both of these men. I wouldn't do that. Not on camera. Not unless y'all...
What did I do, Carl?
You were here! It's like if this is a birth, and he's my midwife, or no, both of you are actually my midwives. He's the doctor.
Don't forget
you're the
to breathe,
midwife,
Carl.
and
Don't forget to breathe.
And I'm gonna crush both your hands because you're not helping me very much with my baby.
I'm trying, damn it. I'm just
trying harder.
Yeah, I'm literally looking up videos. Calm down, child.
Child. I got your child
Learn
right
patience, or do it yourself.
here.
I can just leave. It's alright.
don't do that. Don't leave me with
please,
No,
wait.
I'm not actually
Don't
gonna
leave.
leave.
I love you. Come back. I didn't mean, babe. I promise I'll do better.
I'm actually having difficulties finding this fucking guide for the SSD. Oh! No wonder you're having a problem. It goes on the outside.
Wah, wah,
Outside?
wah.
That would be why it don't work.
What do you mean outside?
Out.
They did not illustrate.
What do they mean by outside? Is
that
what he's
scene,
asking.
but let me show you.
In song.
I'll give you a link that shows it there.
He's gonna strangle us
because
by the end. I don't know how that's even possible.
It's neither of our faults. It's Corsair's fault because their fucking manual should show this.
Huh?
Ask the buck, why don't you?
So what is it
Their
getting
manual
attached
does
with?
not- Yeah, their manual doesn't show that. That's awful. There's screws on the bottom.
The screws on the bottom.
Yeah, there's screw holes on the bottom of the SSD that go into the corresponding holes. Yes.
Yes.
Oh no, you have to take that off to screw the SSD to it.
But what screws?
Oh, there should be screws in the, there's gonna be screws either in the case bag and or the, container that the SSD came in. You only need to put in
I
2
already know that
screws in opposing corners if you're lacking screws.
Actually, I knew that, because I was saying that to myself last night, because I couldn't figure out what screws needed to be put in.
And if
with
you're
the
really
motherboard.
hard up with screws, you can honestly just throw it in the case because an SSD doesn't have to worry about vibration.
That is also true.
'Cause when
But
you're
I don't
left,
like doing that because
find the fucking HDD screws. 'Cause this was the argument I was having with myself last night
autism.
when you left, because I could not figure out which screws needed to go with the motherboard. Because I said to myself, it couldn't be the fan screws. These are way too big. And it couldn't be these other ones because they're labeled for the HDDs. There they are. So I was like, well, these ones are the only ones left. So if these bezel ones aren't it, I don't know what I'm going to secure the motherboard with. Because the fucking standoff for the center of the board is underneath and next to where the M.2 is. And my fingers and hands are way too big to fit the hand screw, that standoff screw on top of it.
When you installed the when you installed the motherboard, you didn't leave any extra standoffs in there, correct?
No. I didn't put any standoff screws in because I couldn't reach the single one hole. There was only one hole that required it.
So you had to put in the standoffs for your motherboard, correct?
Yes. So the screws that are in.
Okay, good. The reason I say that is because you have extra standoffs under random points on the board. That's a shorting issue, but you don't have to worry about that.
No, there's nothing under the board. I made sure everything was secured. What I'm saying is, where are these screws that I use?
Good.
There are 3 standoff screws. These ones. The ones. Where are they? There were 3 screw types that I was fandangling with. These ones were used to screw in the 8 points of the board that I could actually reach, and I figured out afterwards that the magnetic screwdriver could actually screw these in, that were used to do all 8 holes on the outside. These, because it said there was only 1, but it gave me 3, are standoff screws that were for screwing down into those holes, but also a center standoff that on the tough motherboard has a point that the standoff screw pointing upwards that needs one of these to hold it down is next to the M.2 in between 2 capacitors, I think. And originally, I tried to take the fan off so I could reach it, but my fucking meat fingers are too big. So I left this off.
Yeah, those 3 small standoffs are for the M.2. Forgive me, I'm struggling with a delay, and I just realized I was talking to you delayed. It's fixed.
Yes. Now we're here, and these are the correct SSD screws.
Yes.
Yeah.
The time is 3:32, everyone, so I'll
could either
end up having to leave in about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Also, how did that music finish so fast?
All right.
That'll actually work out for me too, because that's when Dad and I plan to go over my house.
I was trying to figure out why my music played by so fast. Because it's on double speed, that's why. How gay of me. I was wondering why these playlists weren't lasting for an entire hour. You know how often it is for me to forget
It
that
happens to the best of us.
that y'all people
And some you lose some.
live your lives so slow that y'all just tolerate things being slow? There are people that said to me, Carl, why do you watch everything on double speed? And it's like, have you ever tried to do research on normal speed? It's just boring. Waiting to get context for information that I've already been able to put together in the 5 seconds it took for me to listen to it. It's like the most infuriating part of the research. Especially when I have to do listening.
People do meander, I'll give you that.
Oh, I know. In fact, if Jay's in the audience, he's looking at the screen right now and saying horrible obscenities
People are known to meander.
that I can't repeat. Because, boy, he'd get in my ass for having that exact problem. But then it's like, I watch videos on the speed that I do, because I'm just comfortable watching videos on double speed. There are some times when I'm doing research, I'm watching videos on 4 times speed even. And I just don't know how people tolerate watching things at such a slow speed. But then it bleeds into my
Maybe you'd think about it with a glass of wine. I mean, I like thinking about things slower, but then again, I also, what do I know?
Well, I play video games that are slow, but then
I'm used to having to slow myself down so that most people can understand.
As a matter of fact, that's kind of, I will second Mariner on that statement, because I honestly, me and my brother, we go at a mile a minute at times, and sometimes we have to, like, it's so funny. I see all these people on Twitter, they're like, I recently saw this thing where someone was like, don't make, like, those people who yell at you because you're an autist, because you talk too fast, or they get really angry at how long you're taking to explain something, just ignore them, or you know, they're terrible people for doing that. I'm like, I wish I could live in that level of bubble of not caring about that, or like not doing that, because, well, actually no, I don't, because there's a teacher that at the school I work at who is so I rant real quick.
go ahead. Go ahead.
At our school, and I'm going ahead. Took a minute to click. Teacher. Astrology dome and everything. But like, I there are times where I have to literally just like remove myself from the situation, because like, he is blissfully unaware of how he comes across
Oh my god, I put this on backwards.
the people. And I'm an autist, so I can say this shit, because like, I had to spend most of my life dealing with having to adjust my sensibilities, my quirks, to live in this world. And he just goes about like, oh, I don't realize that I come off as an asshole that doesn't know what he's doing. So apparently one day he's in science. No, he's an autist. Well, I put it this way. There's this thing called, I guess, how would I word it? Blissful ignorance that certain people on the spectrum have, where they haven't had these situations where they have to adapt. You know what I mean? Like, I've had to, most of my life I've been bullied. I've had to fight for my adjustments needed in school, where people like my brother basically reap the rewards that I had to fight for, and I was bullied all my years. And I see people on Twitter who are like, oh, you know, that they they want the world to change for them without them doing anything themselves, and not realizing that the world is inherently unfair, and that your little bubble isn't gonna hold very, very long. And the longer you stay in that, the harder it is gonna be when that bubble pops, and you gotta realize, oh shit, I gotta do things. So I guess he's doing this thing.
I feel like this stream just keeps dropping.
Step outside the room because I got a peanut allergy, and you. That's not real. He says, as he opens the bag.
It just keeps cutting in and out on your sound, Garza.
How far away was the kid from this thing? Hold on.
But point being, yes, that apparently she would need to step out of the room. The guy said, oh, it's all in your head. He opens the bag. I'm guessing she was maybe midway through the room, but by the end of it, she had to leave, and he was still saying, oh, it's all in your head. And I'm just like, let me just wait. They said this was all apparently because he lost his job apparently because of that. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm sure Sonority had something to.
This would probably help if I close Twitter.
Which where I'd want a Karen to step in.
Okay.
What is your PC like fucking loading out?
No, the stream kept cutting in and out at certain points because it kept in the connection for the music. So I was hearing
I can imagine.
It
I was
probably
hearing
is.
stars and hits, but then I just closed Twitter, and then everything was completely fine. Many such cases.
Yeah. Twitter takes up a lot of memory. Twitter did that on my old computer a lot, where it's like it would eat up so much of my little RAM I had, and I'm like, I just gotta close it.
I don't know why it
I gotta
does
manage
that.
my processes better.
Like before.
Well, I know it.
Like before, I know that Twitter was running 2 forms of legacy, and when we were able to actually still use the legacy form of Twitter, everything was mostly good and fine. But then they updated everything to run off the app-based system, and it's been pure ass ever since. There's some times where when I have to reopen Brave's browser, the first thing it takes...
When did this change occur?
Like, last year, in June. They forced everybody to stop using
Okay, that explains it.
system.
Yeah, because even back then, or even when I was on my old computer, I was having issues where it's like, maybe it was because I ad blocked, but I would only have it open in my notifications section, and as the notifications flew in, all the RAM started going away. I don't know. That was a while ago, so you can imagine. In other news, water is wet. So speaks Captain Obvious, challenger of the known. Love that line. Challenger of the known!
Now, what the hell are expansion cards?
What you looking for, Carl?
I'm looking for the installation for the set of
Those are the
dice.
cards you plug. Okay.
You said those are the cards that do what?
Well, that's where you'd put in, say, your graphics card and whatnot. Like those cards you slide in, there's those little panels that you unscrew and you put, like,
No, not
unless it's
not
referring
the PCIe,
to.
not that PCIe expansion. There's a specific part in here that says PCIe X16 and PCIe 1X cards. Like you have the normal expansions,
those are.
then you
just
have a second
referring-
one.
You don't have to worry about that. You just have one graphics card. Yes, I see. Is that for the vertical? What the hell?
Okay, Carl, there's 2 different types of PCIe. There are ones that are like for the graphics card, which is the one on top, and the one on the bottom is for like extra USB. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I guess.
other cards that you don't have right now, so you shouldn't worry about that.
Exactly.
Now, second
Favorite
concern.
Lovecraft story.
Now,
Call of Cthulhu. Second place. Call of Cthulhu. Favorite Lovecraft story, for the record, Nate.
What you need, Carl?
So now I'm looking at the SATA device connections, and it's showing me a set of wires that I don't have connections for.
What does it? What it?
SATA cable, and then there's a secondary cable here with additional wires. I don't have those secondary
that's
wires.
power.
Yes, you do.
Comes to the power supply.
Yeah.
Okay. Power supply.
Yeah. The longer one is the power that comes from the PPU. The other one is a SATA data cable. Gotta have power alongside the data stream.
Yeah.
Righteous.
Oh,
the SATA cable in your hand is going to connect from your drive, and then it's going to go into a corresponding slot on the motherboard.
Exactly.
The slot next to it, that's the same shape but fatter, is the power connector for the SATA drive. That's going to go from the drive to the cables that connect to your power supply.
Yeah. Yes. You got it.
Lovely. Well, here
I know, right?
Doing this unconnected. I feel like I'm shorting everything I'm touching. So this SATA cord goes here. Like so. I feel like I should install that upside down, shouldn't I?
Or just you.
Yeah.
If it
clicked in, fine, no problem. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let him speak.
No, when I install it upside down, I mean I put the hard drive in upside down.
Can you put it in? No, that's fine. Will the tray fit that way? If not, just use the other end of the cable and put it in right side up.
There we go.
That works. Yeah, because I have to wait for the stream to catch up. That's good.
You're good, my friend.
Yep, and
Got
just
it
take
in.
that cable and just route it through the front. Yeah, and just we'll worry about connecting it to the motherboard after we're done with the connectors here. Yeah, whichever hole you feel comfortable with, that's fine.
That's what she said. Actually, no, that's not what she said. That's what he said.
That's what she said. Oh my.
Yep, same dealie.
I love how I made an animation.
End is
For...
which?
What do you mean?
Which end is which?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. They're the same. They're the same. I believe next to install is your power supply.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why you wouldn't. That's why you didn't have the connector you were looking at. Remember, because that is where it's connected to the power supply. Yeah. Anyway.
All I did when I opened up the power supply box was take out everything necessary so I could hook myself to ground.
Well, yeah.
That's fine.
My point. Yeah. Sorry.
Why the fuck would you put tape like this on the installation guide. That's very annoying.
Ain't it?
Because then the paper rips.
Get it. Hey, got the meta rig ready for JonTron's new version. Now I just gotta generate the Rigify rig.
Then it's the really sticky tape that definitely rips paper. Why the fuck?
Sticky tape.
Why would you do this, Samsung? Why would you fucking do this? On your installation guide, no less. Your manual.
Wait,
Because they care.
are you opening that to check it, or just opening it to opening it?
I'm opening it to open it so that I know that I've done it. I'm not gonna remember.
Okay,
Plus, all of these
I was gonna say
plus all of these are pretty much
everything's done for those.
straight through in. Screws for fixing the M.2 SSD on your system are not included in this package. Why are you telling me about that? It's not in M2.
Because it's a universal guide. Because
Nieces.
Yes, they aren't.
I don't need that instruction manual.
Woo! Yeet!
holy shit, that was almost 15 seconds delay.
There's a lot of
Yeet.
plastic everywhere.
Go clean it up. Maybe.
Perhaps.
Okay, this needs to go up or down. No, down. Because that's where the exhaust port is at the bottom.
Yes. But first, I would connect the cables that you need to it.
So,
Yes.
oh yeah, that's right. I left these in the box and I looked at this entire giant mess and I said, nope, I'm not touching this. That's right.
Yes. So you'll need.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
That's just it's because I have the exact same one for this, so very well because I literally have that.
I literally have the case.
Well,
There's way too many fucking cords.
well, you won't need all of them.
Which is why it's a good idea to get them out and connect it at least before you plug it in. Got it. Or screw it in this case.
VGA B5.
Well, in some cases it's easy.
VGA B5.
You sunk my battleship.
VGA B5. MB.
Yeah, you'll need one VGA cord.
VGA B5. CPU.
Oh yeah, you'll need both VGA connectors because that card's going to require both. Anyway.
Parif.
Yeah, the one with the bunch of chunky, like, 4-pin connectors, you don't need that. That's for, those are Molex ends. You'll need the ones that are you'll need 2 VGA connectors, one that's labeled SATA, or wires rather, one that's labeled MB or motherboard, and one that's labeled CPU.
Beta. VGA B5. And this is something that converts something into something, and it has no label.
Probably.
Those look like Molex connectors. Those are the ones you can put back.
And this is screws, and then looks like another connector.
Yeah, that connector, actually, you don't need. That's for tripping the power supply on. If you're going to use it externally for something, you can put that little black thing back.
And then what about the screws?
The screws are for screwing it to the case.
Screwing it to the case.
So you're gonna, when you put the power supply in, you're gonna need those screws.
For screwing the power supply into the case. This is math class. I need to know what you're talking about.
That's the power supply. The screws that came in the power supply box are for securing the power supply
Okay.
to the computer case after you've got it where you want it.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yes. Now, first cable labeled VGA B5 goes into VGA. 8-pin or 6 plus 2-pin?
Correct.
8-pin or 6.2 pin?
The 8-pin. Yes. You'll put in the side that has a solid 8-pin.
The reason I'm taking it in and out again is because I don't like the sound it makes when it goes in.
That's fair. Yeah, you can take it in and out a couple times. I had to do that sometimes because it's fresh. You don't want it loose in there, but yeah, just taking it in and out a couple times. That's fine. Now you're gonna use both VGA cables for this card, if I remember correctly. So.
Okay, it is very straightforward. No way to mistake that one. Don't like that sound. I don't like that ch-chunk sound. Is there supposed to be a hole missing on the output or the input of this SATA board?
Yes. Yes, there is.
And what is parif? What is parif?
What? Oh, peripherals? Yeah, you don't need the peripherals. The peripheral cable you could put back in the box.
I did.
Sweet.
Okay, good.
Ah.
That did not make a click sound.
And I see you're putting in the other VGA cable, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because you're going to need both of them.
These elbows, that elbows is what I'm going to call them. These are just for length reason. So if I needed extra length. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a daisy chain, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but you will connect the individual lines, both of them, to the card when you install it. Because that's what the VGA cables mean, video graphics, essentially. So those are graphic card cables. So the next two cables you need to install are the ones labeled MB for motherboard and CPU for the CPU.
Lovely.
The MB is the big
Yes.
chungus one.
And I'm looking at the second SATA cable because both of them require a SATA, don't they?
What's this? How many? There should be a bunch of ports on the SATA cable that you already plugged in. You shouldn't need to plug in both SATA for just 2 drives.
So I only need one?
Yeah, because look at the end of your the SATA cables. See that they have like daisy chain ports on them?
Yes.
Look at the... Yeah. So how many hard drives are you connecting?
2.
So you only need one of those cables. Plugging in the other one isn't going to do anything, but it's just going to make more mess that you're not even using. That's all.
Is it?
So I have to connect one
It's a
cord,
daisy chaining of power.
and then
That makes any
Oh
sense.
wait, are they too far away for you to daisy chain?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, try it. Yeah, try it out before you
I'll
hook it
try
to the power
one.
supply.
I'll
That's
try
one
one
of the
then.
benefits. Okay, yeah.
Because I can always take
benefits
the
of having
SATA cord
modular
out
power
of it,
supply.
can't I? Always a choice. Also,
Right.
it's 3. I can always try to connect these to it first, and then replug them in with their SATA
Yeah.
cords to make sure that I have enough length.
Yeah.
Because technically, I might have to just take out this SATA cord so that I can fit the power supply in. Then that's fine.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can leave it disconnected until you have everything in there. That's fine.
4 o'clock and I need to poop.
Okay. Well, I'll be available later tonight, definitely.
As am I. I'm free this evening.
You realize, gentlemen, later tonight for me is getting off at 5 a.m.
Oh, there.
Okay. Well.
Okay, well, his. Then I'll let him decide what he wants to do. Cause yeah.
All I can do for now is plug these in and put it in position.
Well, the next time you stream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big chungus. Now the question I have is, which side of this goes in?
Which end?
Yes.
I don't believe it matters. Oh, the solid end you plug in. Or wait a minute, no. No, the end that's split you plug in.
Because I was about to tell you there was 2 individual split ports here.
Yeah. Yep, you use both of them. Yep, that's for safety reasons. Good job.
It's a good start.
Don't you patronize me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Is that for this all that's the graphics card and then attach the drivers and the motherboard, but that's like 2 things.
See, the first problem is getting the PC built. The second problem is once it posts, getting it set up. The job is not done after that. We still have to then ensure that I have all the things I need for everything.
Mm-hmm. And software is far more up my alley, Carl. I'm happy to help with that. I am not the best hardware person because of my meat hands like yours. Have a good night, Nate. Good seeing you here.
Bye.
Oh Lord. Here, Neptune.
You might want to route the cables first before you finish putting in the power supply. Or when I say route, I mean just put it through the holes into the other side first, and then put the main body in.
I have to crouch. Oh, also one of the SATA cables.
You could also put the cables through disconnected from the power supply if that's
Sure, I
easier.
don't roll my fucking wheel over it. Then I'll really have a problem. I'm just trying to get these cables to go together. Go together.
Okay.
Where's Keith? Keith in heaven one.
Well, you don't have to put in the SATA power supply cable through because those will just stay on that side of the case. The other ones you do.
Be like two college co-eds, one at the parties, and just get in there. Get in there. Come on, just get in
Get
there.
out of my car now!
What are you getting stuck on? The fucking sound is not making me very happy. I'm looking at it and it's not touching anything on the board, but I just don't like that scratching sound. It makes me think
Oh, is that
something's
from the
wrong.
sleeve?
Yeah,
Is that
it's
from the sleeves of the cable?
yeah, I think it is. Yeah, that's just how it's like a braided sleeve. I know what you mean though. You know, like you're pulling it, the metal against it makes you feel nervous. I get it.
At the same time, there's not a lot of clearance.
Yeah. The
And I
only
still
cables
get
you need
this
to
one
put.
through.
The only cables you need to get through that side are the motherboard cable and the two graphic card cables. Forget if there's a hole closer to the top of the board. Charza would know since he allegedly has this case.
Let me check.
That would be good.
Connectors and it has the glass side, so I can hopefully see. I think actually everything's fed through from a connection towards the top of the case.
As
Like-
far as the CPU cable.
From what I can tell, yeah, just a CPU cable. From
Okay,
like there's like I know the supply for the for the graphics card that's coming from towards the bottom. The top is where everything else mostly feeds through. It's like as the lights flash on LEDs. Mine is lights,
I'm looking.
yes.
Hello, Evan.
Yo, Evan, what's up?
I just got called off work, so I'm happy.
Yay!
It's literally 2 days in a row because of how fucking bad the storms were, and they're supposed to get bad again.
Hello, Evan.
Where do you live in the country?
I didn't
Just so I
recognize
know.
your voice at first.
Michigan.
Oh God, that's great. Cause I'm south of you then, Evan.
Yeah, I know you're gonna get all the backdraft.
Oh man, that reminds me of. Do you remember the weather storm? Did the weather storm of 2012 hit you guys up in Michigan?
Um,
Carl?
The summer storm. Anyway. Sorry, I didn't mean to distract everyone.
No, I remember the fucking tornado season that literally took out half my neighborhood. So.
Yeah, something like that then. You guys did get some of it. That was a story when I worked at Walmart, man.
Oh, he doesn't have his.
Anywho.
He doesn't have his headphones on, does he? Damn it.
Actually, one sec.
I can't go in like
He,
that.
he might not. Yeah. He took them off. Now he has them on again.
Okay.
I could hear people, I just can't hear
that's
exactly
not
what you're saying.
Carl. Okay.
What?
That's not the power supply I sent you.
Wait, what?
Uh-oh.
That's the one. No, that's the one. That's the other one. I think I would recommend using the one I gave you. You don't have to. The cables are going to be identical. But
Leaves the room. He's like, I've had enough of this.
Well, also, I think he has to leave because it's after.
Well, I know that.
So the one that I have is B5.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
The one that you sent me is G5.
Yeah.
Yes, use the G5 one, please.
But the cables will be compatible, so at least there's
Yeah,
that.
the cables are going to be compatible. You're literally just going to switch the units. Trust me on this. You're going to want to use the one I sent you.
I still have to unplug them.
It's a better unit overall. Yeah, but you're just going to plug it back into the other one. You don't have to get rid of the cables. Just unplug the unit.
I know.
Because it has identical cables in it.
I know.
Okay. I'm saving you a headache. I know you won't thank me. It's okay.
Thankless job, but someone's got to do it. We're here to help Carl, man. You're finally there.
The other reason I say this is because now I understand why PC Part Picker was giving him a power compatibility issue. Because it's referring to that one, not the one I gave him, which I know is going to be good.
There you go. See, now we know.
I'm gonna fucking find half the shit I need for PC Part Picker. I'm just gonna have to save money and just get a pre-build.
It's not a
yeah.
bad power supply, but the one I gave you is better.
They literally look fucking identical except for the fucking lettering.
They're different internally.
And the fact that this one says Supernova. I know what these fucking things look like, man.
It's okay.
That's why we're here. To mess it up for you.
No, shush.
Like, people assume that because I'm a digital archive analyst, that means, oh, you understand how to put a computer together. No, I don't. I know how to find your porn folder.
You gotta realize, Carl.
You deal with software. I deal with mostly hardware. And
Yeah, I am such a butterfingers and shaky hands. I never want to mess with hardware. Like that's the thing. Is like I am such a klutz. I'm like no, I'd rather not. Thank you. Wood chicken, dino nuggies, dino nugs. Good
Dino
stuff.
nuggies.
Yes, good stuff.
You want to know what I've been doing for the past like 4 hours?
Masturbating?
Oh, I was
No,
gonna say.
I wish if I could last that long, I would be entering competitions.
They're competition. Okay, I'm not
Buy a
surprised.
buy a cock
There are
ring,
competitions
buy a
in
cock,
the
buy a cock ring and edge yourself.
underground. There is.
What?
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 No, that's the answer. You buy a cock ring and you edge yourself. And if you want to bust like a fire hose, you get zinc supplements. We all know that because Poe would not shut up about them.
Oh my god! Right? Christ, that was embarrassing.
Dude,
It's
I'm
almost
on
embarrassing.
keto.
Him.
I'm on keto. I'm on
Try to increase
keto,
my
man.
size.
I'm on keto. Every 5 fucking seconds. Keto, Nick. I know!
I'm on 15 different protein shakes and protein powders and
And yet he's still
Vitamins.
short.
So fat.
yeah.
Probably because he's drinking fucking Bang every day.
I still have the fucking picture of him that he fucking posted of like just him bald, and he looks like a fucking character from Assassin's Creed Origins. and I linked a picture. I'm just like, I found Poe in Assassin's Creed, and he's supposedly the grown-up son of the Scarab from like a DLC mission, and the resemblance is uncanny.
Every time I think of Poe like, at his height, I think of that one video where the guy walks into that McDonald's, and flips the guy's food. And then they add all these sound effects to it and whatnot.
This last card won't come out.
Or what's his name? Plankton's piloting him.
Poe's the kind of guy who's more bark than bite.
You know?
I know. I
guess that sums him up in a single sentence.
He is also a nega Carl.
He's like
Tim Pool right now.
Or to be more accurate, rather than a nega Carl.
He's also yeah, but he's also like Tim Pool right now, who's like.
I don't think about Tim Pool right now.
Tryharding about his stance.
We're talking about Tim Pool and wanting everyone to dox themselves.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I have more respect for Anthony Birch than you.
I know what Tim Pool was saying, but the problem is that his point still is fucking ridiculous because you can still make moves anonymously. He wasn't saying listen and only talk to people who dox themselves. He said if this person won't stand by their opinion because the second you ask them to verify, okay, so who are you exactly and what is your take? What he's saying is, if you're someone like Lance from the Serfs, and you have a stupid-ass fucking take, you don't get to hide behind saying, oh, I'm just a private citizen talking about this super serious matter publicly, and nothing should happen. That's what he's meaning by that. If he's trying to make the argument...
If you have a following...
shit.
If you have a large enough following where you can dictate people's actions, you should be more, known.
Yes.
Especially if it's political or something like that. I think it makes more sense than that.
But
Not like I'm saying doxing Dream is a great idea because he's literally just a child entertainer.
He has the mentality of a child.
Yes, he has a mentality of a child. Literally everything he gets called, I'm sorry, guys.
I'm sorry I cheated, but...
Realistically, looking at what Dream actually looks like,
I made this a reference about drugs. I know how black people could get offended. That was literally his fucking tweet.
Oh, I remember that. Oh, it's funny.
That was terrible.
Based.
But funny.
Based! And marinated. But no, I understand what point he was making, but it's still fucking ridiculous. Because me, as single player Carl, can still be able to have a point that can beat out any fucking breadtuber every goddamn day of the week. But if the classification becomes, well, I don't know who you are personally, therefore your take doesn't matter to me, then that's the point where it becomes really fucking stupid. Because that, number one, Facebook. Number two, Twitter.
Imagine if Trump did not have a known alias and he was a third party, anonymous person.
He'd be like, who are you, dumbass?
And the problem is, it's if
I'm just so let's make the country great. Just on a fucking talk show, just behind an anonymous mask.
If it's one thing to be okay, so I'm going to have an opinion about this. I want to invite you on the show. If he just wants to talk to a person who has a random fucking opinion, but they happen to be a commentator who people haven't heard of, or rather, they're somebody who people don't usually hear from. Some commentator that talks about issues but never is in the limelight, the same way how somebody like Roaming Millennial is, now that she uses her name Lauren Chen. Actually, no, perfect example. When Roaming Millennial did not originally use her name Lauren Chen and was not doing her show with her fiance, now husband, I don't know if they've been married yet or not, but before she did that, she was with Crowder doing shit because she has a fucking thing for Blaze TV. And when she made that crossover and started using her name Lauren Chen, rather than Roaming Millennial, it'd be one of those instances, right? Because it's we know who Roaming Millennial is, and we also know that Lauren Chen is Roaming Millennial. But if she had not done said thing where it became clear that I was her entrance into shit, or rather, another example, if we didn't know that June is Shoeonhead, and Shoeonhead is just this random fucking now, is just this random coming out of nowhere who has all of these takes that always are applicable to whatever boyfriend she's fucking at the time, then that would become the question of, okay, so why should I care about why would I care about your fucking opinions? Because this is the exact same case with this with the woman named Mother Merrick. The fucking ANCAP woman who basically got ousted from being in an ANCAP because she was in the bathroom taking pictures in a fucking lingerie. So they ejected her, and now she's back on the scene with an entire boy that she's feminizing. If I was to hear a take from her, I'd be like, I don't care about your opinion. I don't care if you're known or not. I've seen what you get up to. You don't have any opinions that are worth listening to. It's like that.
Look how people feel about Jim Sterling now.
Yes.
Because, like, the problem is that if they're political trolls and they're only ever bringing up opinions because they want to be heard, like Jake, if Jake's
Fucking video where Vosh made, like, how to troll Trumpians, like, 2020 or 2021 or whatever, featuring Shoe on Head. And I sit there going, like, the only reason why we trolled people in the first place is because they said we weren't going to win, and it's just fucking funny.
I mean, I love how, I will say, I do find it funny. I was telling this to a friend at work one day. I said, your 2020, this is like last year, could have been really bad, but it's not Shoe on Head levels bad, because she had her boyfriend just after she had to basically bite the bullet on her 29th birthday. He breaks it off with her, and he's been caught. She made a tweet once saying, "Armored skeptic when the girl's age ends with a 3," and it shows him being disgusted. Brittany Whitney nowadays, but that was one of the few tweets that I to this day find hilarious. She was like, "Oh god, this aged perfectly."
I mean,
Head shark calls the lolly shark a
Yes.
predator.
lol.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, she's like, apparently her half black or whatever claims they're actually legit, but whatever.
They are legit.
Yeah, but nobody cares because
Yeah,
she's
no
also
one cares.
a third shark, clearly. I
Yeah,
mean, have you seen
yeah.
those fucking eyes?
Oh yeah, we all know.
You know
I've
who's
seen the
someone
memes.
who I thought was like my friend, but like fucking turned on me? I think I've told you this, Cars. It was Chris Raygun and Tom.
Oh god,
Sweeney.
Chris, right? Okay, those two. Lockdown did that, by the way.
So like, I was really good. Like, I followed Tom. Tom followed me because we both love D&D.
Okay.
And my brother drew him some art for like a cool D&D idea that he was thinking about,
Mhm.
and we just kind of hit it off.
Yeah.
They, one day I joined their party for PlayStation because they had it open. So, and I think they didn't mean to have it open. So it was like more awkward. Fucking avoided me entirely. They still have me on PlayStation Friends, but they've both fucking blocked me.
I wonder
on Twitter.
why.
So so what's funny is Lillian, Tom Sweeney's girlfriend, was like, "Happy birthday, Tom," really like happy because she's a really nice person. I'm just like, "Hey, tell Tom I said happy birthday," because I can't do it directly, and she likes it. I'm just like, she doesn't know what's going on, does she?
Well, I think I was at one point blocked by Gus Johnson's girlfriend, and that was when I started noticing, like, these guys, lockdown has basically made them so fucking insular. They've done a channel awesome, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. They make fun of like fucking one of them. They all like are in the know. Like,
oh god,
for example, yes. Okay, so I was bringing in statistics into
oh god,
a said conversation with Malcolm Ray, and I immediately get called racist for it. And it was so fucking funny because I'm trying to explain. I'm like, no, I'm just using statistical matters in a sense of saying, like, because this was during the whole Stop Asian Hate thing, and now miraculously
that was one of the funniest backpedals, that whole situation, because when you look into the statistics, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you're like, who commits the most Asian hate crimes?
Well, why were the roof Koreans made then? Why did they become a thing? Look into that. Get back to me on the whole Stop Asian Hate thing.
Definitely because of the people you think did it. There's the people we know who did it.
It was almost a trap, just lying in wait. As soon as I saw the Stop Asian Hate thing, I'm like, oh, this is gonna last a week.
Fucking, like,
pretty much did.
Who's the fucking owner of Sushi Trash? Or fucking Filthy Frank's current whatever fit manager?
Yoji? I don't know.
They did like Stop Asian Hate, and they put a yellow square, and they got fucking shit on because of that, because of the whole black square thing.
That's funny.
what I find so funny is that like I've seen like tweets of people who are like saying don't do stop Asian hate until the black people will get what they need.
Yeah,
I was like, really, guys?
It's fuck. It's like we can't stop Asian hate until we stop black hate, and it's like
Exactly. That was the.
what
that was
if I don't
basically-
have
yeah.
any hate?
What if I'm both? What if I'm Heinz Ward?
What if I'm Tim Pool and I'm half Asian? That I always say.
What if I'm George Soros and was calling out Jewish people in Germany back when the occupation?
I love
Nazis
how
were
that's a
around?
thing that actually happened. Like,
I know.
it's-
He fucking admits it too, and he's like, "Oh, the Nazi occupation wasn't that
So
bad."
I was a
It's
good
like,
person. I shirt people in.
I told the Nazis where they were hiding.
Oh, God, I still can't.
Somehow
actually,
this
no, I
guy's a
can't.
fucking trillionaire.
His country hates him too. That's the funny thing. Like they have like anti-Soros things in their country, and he's like, "That's a damn shame." It's like, yeah, a damn shame what you do too. So I mean, that's why they're doing it.
Like the whole back to like the fucking political like fucking grifter like ideology and stuff. The serfs definitely do. Vosh definitely does it.
Oh yeah, like
Ethan definitely fucking does. He does whatever's fucking popular, and he recently showed that by fucking bringing on the biggest grifter
yep.
known to man. And even Tim Pool called fucking Sam Cedar out because Sam Cedar was the first guy to shout out Tim Pool, and then
Yep.
Tim Pool was like, "Hey, we can have you on the show," and he was like super fucking excited because like, "Hey, this is the guy who first shouted me out to begin with when I was on Wall Street," and he fucking drags him across the mud for being a live show audience kind of thing, and like and he just fucking just rips like he calls him out. He's like he's one of
17.
does it for money.
I will say this much: like, Vosh is definitely a grifter. I will give him that. And that I extend that to his opinion, his
Vosh
usage of
needs his
rhetoric.
hard drive. Okay.
Well, honestly,
Carl, you heading out?
Carl,
What?
are you heading out?
I'm setting myself up to, yes.
Okay, cool.
All right. Because I know you said you had to leave.
Well, you know what, guys, if you want, I'll start a stream over on my YouTube if you guys want to join in on that. We can continue the conversation there.
Fine. I have nothing better to do because I got called off. So
I gotta go to my property and install some air conditioners. Actually, I just wanted to stay here until Carl was.
it'll be the Charza Evans show.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have to leave.
Yes, yeah. Start talking there.
Thank
Have
you
a good
for
one,
staying
Carl.
by, gentlemen.
See you later.
Only if you need help.
Don't put your dick in crazy.
Bye-bye.
I will stick my shit where I please.
All right.
People always
All
worry
right, let
about
me go
sticking
do
their
that.
dick in crazy, but they never worry about sticking their dick in dumb.
I did both, and I regret both.
That's bad. Yeah. Yeah, Carl, you're pretty much almost there. The next time we do this, it should be done that stream.